How's it going, guys? Mr. Kirk here with another number sense tips and tricks video. Today's topic is going to be topic 1-2, which is the multiplying by 11's trick. One thing that I like about the multiplying by 11's trick is that it's one of the more easier tricks in number sense due to the fact that you're multiplying by the number 1 multiple times. And the number 1 in itself is an identity number. Let's see what happens with a couple of our example problems. Beginning on the left-hand side, there's a few multiplication problems that I've written out, and some of them are very straightforward, but I want to do them anyway so that we all see the effect of what happens. Our first problem, 5 times 1, the answer is 5. By multiplying 5 times 1, nothing is changed because when you multiply anything by 1, it remains the same. Our next problem is 5 times 11. Same type of idea, but we're multiplying by 1 in the ones place and the tens place. So our answer is going to be 55. We can see in these previous two problems that not a lot has changed, and the answer was pretty straightforward. Let's take a look at this next problem, 54 times 11. Before we attempt 54 times 11, it's important to point out that this is not going to be as simple as the previous two problems, but because I'm multiplying by 11, certain things are going to remain the same, and in this case, that's true. Personally, here's the trick that I use to solve 54 times 11. The first digit is going to be 5. The last digit is going to be 4. The digit that's in between is going to be the sum of these two numbers. Our answer is 594. I'll give you a moment to try this yourself. Try 72 times 11 using the exact same trick that we just talked about. If you got 792 as your answer, congratulations, you are correct. The first digit is a 7, the last digit is a 2, and the middle digit is the sum of those two numbers. So one question that needs to be asked is, will it always be this easy and straightforward? Sometimes. Take a look at the next problem, 38 times 11. It might seem like this is the same exact type of problem, but in this problem, one thing changes. The first digit will be a 3, the last digit will be an 8, but wait a minute, when you add the two together, your answer is 11. So what do we do with that? Well, the ones place in that answer of 11 remains the same. We're going to write a 1 down. But because the number exceeded 10, we are going to carry that 1 over into the greater digit, and this becomes a 4. Our answer is 418. Now let's take a look at a few different problems. Let's take a look at what happens when you multiply a 3-digit number or a 4-digit number times 11. In Brian Heath's manual, he describes this as a very mundane version of moving down the line, and that's exactly what we're about to do. If you'll remember from the last lesson, there were 2 steps to moving down the line. The first step was flip the digit. The second step was move it down the line. And because 11 flipped backwards is still 11, that just eliminates one step. So, frankly put, all we have to do is take this 11 and move it down the line. And because we're multiplying something by 1, these numbers here are not changing and are going to be used in our answer. First step, the ones place is going to be a 3. Move it down the line. The next step is going to be the sum of 2 and 3, which is 5. The next step, the sum of 5 and 2, which is 7. And finally, as we exit, the last two that intersected were 5 and 1. Our answer is 5,753. We can do the same type of approach with any size number. It does not matter. So if I do the same thing here, I'm going to go a little bit faster. Our first digit is an 8. The next digit is the sum of 9 and 8, which is 17. Carry the 1. The next digit is the sum of 7 and 9, which is 16, plus 1 is 17. carry the 1 again. Move it down the line again. 6 plus 7 is 13. Add the 1, get 14. Carry the 1 one more time. As we exit, 6 plus the 1 that we carried is 7. Our answer is 74,778. And just like that, you have part 1, which is multiplying by the 11s trick, finished. Part 2 of this video is going to be dividing by the 11s. Now, I'd like to say that this is actually just as easy, but I think that dividing by 11 is a little bit trickier in some instances. The best piece of advice that I can give you is practice multiplying by 11 often. The more that you multiply by 11, the better that you will get dividing by 11, because by nature, the two are opposites of each other. Here are some shortcuts that I use when trying to divide by 11. One of the first things that I think about when I'm trying to divide a number by 11 is, how large should my answer be? When I do 286 divided by 11, I'm asking myself, how many times can 11 go into 286? To figure out how large my answer should be, the formula on the right-hand side is what I use to determine that. The digits minus the digits plus 1. Take the number of digits from the first number, which is 3, then take the number of digits from the second number, which is 2, subtract them from each other to get 1, and then add 1 to that. My answer should be 2 digits long. So here's a trick that I use in this situation for our first problem. 286 divided by 11. I notice right away that the sum of 2 and 6 is equal to 8. And if you remember the relationship of the last problems that we did, which were multiplying by 11, you should realize right away that the answer should be 26, because the first and last digit are 2 and 6, and they add together to give you 8. Well, if that's the case, take a look at the next problem. 374 divided by 11 should be what? Hopefully you got the answer of 34, because the first and last digit are 4, and together 3 and 4 equals 7. All right, now for our next problem. This gets a little bit trickier. Now we're going to divide a 4-digit number by 11. So before we begin, let's ask ourselves, how long should our answer be? How many digits should it be? Well, this has 4 digits, and this is still a 2-digit number. Let's subtract the 2 from each other to get 2, and add 1 to it. Our answer should be 3 digits long. So now begins my approach to this problem. The ones place of your answer will be the same number as the ones place of the large number, which was 1,353. These two numbers will always be the same. Your next step is subtract the tens digit from the ones digit in the large number. So what I'll do now is take 5 and subtract from it 3, the tens place minus the ones place, to get my next units digit, which is going to be a 2. Finally, for our last step, this is where it gets a little bit weird. I'm going to do the same type of thing with the hundreds place. I'm going to take 3 and subtract from it not the previous digit, but the digit that I just wrote down over here. I'm going to do 3 minus 2, because 2 was the result of 5 minus 3, to get my final number, which is going to be 1. 1,353 divided by 11 equals 123. I strongly recommend rewinding this part and watching it one more time, because this only gets better with practice. Finally, let's move on to this one last problem. Now let's divide by 111. This is a beast of a problem if you've never done it before, but we are going to take a very similar approach to what we just did. Our first step, let's ask ourselves, how long should our answer be? This is a 5-digit number. This is now a 3-digit number. 5 minus 3, which is 2, plus 1. Our answer should be 3 digits long. Now, Even though there's more ones in this number, our first step still remains the same. In the ones place, our digit is going to be the exact same digit that is in the ones place in this number. Next, I'm going to take a similar style of approach as the last time. It's almost like you're moving down the line again, but with division, we're going to involve these two digits again this time. I'm going to take the difference of 3 and 1 to get my digit in the tens place, which will be a 2. Finally, this is the part that's different. Now I'm looking at the hundreds place. I'm looking at this 7. In order to get my final answer, my number in the hundreds place, I'm going to take 7 and subtract from it each digit that I've gotten thus far. I'm going to do 7 minus 2 minus 1, involve that ones place this time, to get my hundreds place, which is going to be 4. 46,731 divided by 111 equals 421. Hopefully now you guys feel equipped to tackle problem set 1-2, which is multiplying and dividing by 11. Do your best, and as always, go Cats.